Hey, welcome to the next edition, episode 51 of the Next Step podcast. And we've got two people here that are not anywhere close to 51. Greg and Holly SHUE are with us today. We're grateful to have them with us. Welcome to the podcast, and thanks for taking time to come today.
Oh, thanks for having us. We're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward for you guys to get to know these guys because they are absolutely amazing. So tell us the Greg and Holly story in whatever order you want to tell us in.
So the Greg and Holly story will have two different versions, so I'll let you go, and then I'll edit it. I'll edit it as you go.
All right.
Sure. Well, so I was in college, and my brother actually asked me, he said, hey, a bunch of us are going on a cruise. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. So me and my other friend, we said, yeah, let's do it. So we went, and sure enough, this guy was on the cruise, as part of the crew. And
I was good friends with her brother.
Yes. And so we ended up, I think I caught his attention a little bit.
I think you tackled your friend to sit beside me.
That's his version.
Oh, so here's where the editing comes in.
Yeah, that's where the editing come in. So
I didn't tackle, no, I tripped.
Yeah, she tripped.
Oh, okay.
So then we, so she was living in West Virginia at the time, and I was here, of course, and so it just it grew from there, and she graduated, and
we talked on the phone, and
we did
got to know each other, and decided that it was worth moving here to pursue. So
well, you got out of West Virginia. I mean, that was, it was the ticket out of West Virginia.
Well, he had to get out of Lawrence, South Carolina, didn't he?
I did.
Aren't you from Lawrence, if I remember correctly?
Yeah. Lawrence County.
Clinton, okay.
Yeah.
As well.
So I finished up my last semester of school.
Which was where?
In Fairmont, West Virginia.
Okay.
So right outside of WVU.
Okay.
So my mom worked for the university. And,
okay.
So yeah, we have moved down here, and next thing you know, we got engaged. And
we did.
A couple years later, we got married, and so.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do and what you've done for a living.
You go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was actually, once I moved to Charlotte, my first job was with a communication company called Windstream.
Okay.
And I started
Windstream?
there. Yep. And I was not going to make a career out of it, but I ended up working there for 16 years.
Yeah.
I continued to get promoted and worked in our training department, and then and I loved it. I really did. I enjoyed it. It was very good for work-life balance with family. And then the company was going through a few changes that I just didn't have peace with. So I ended up pursuing my second passion, which was teaching. And it really was my first passion. That's what I went to school for. And told Greg, I was like, hey, I think it's time to maybe switch gears altogether and go into education. So
Awesome.
I am now in first grade elementary teacher
At?
Gardner Park Elementary.
Fantastic.
And
Where
I
my
love
kids
it.
went to school.
Yes,
You
I
carrying
love
on
it.
tradition?
Yes, definitely. People are great. And it has been a learning curve. It is a rewarding job, though.
Yeah.
I really do look forward to going in every day. I tell him every day.
She gets up at 5 in the morning. I don't look forward to that.
No.
I have no
It is
idea when she
early.
leaves.
You don't get a
No.
pulse for till about 6 or something?
No.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I might wake you up, but I love it. It's been a blessing. It really has. It is something that I look forward to next year, because I know this year's been a learning curve, but it definitely am excited for next year.
So tell us what it's like to be a public school teacher these days.
It is a lot more than I thought it would be. There's a lot that goes into it. It is not just a 8 to 5 or whatever job. I mean, you're working
Yeah, you put a
weekends.
lot
You're
of time in.
pouring into helping these kids because they need it. They need the love and just the stability that you can provide them.
Right.
But I really do enjoy the creativity. First grade's so much fun. Their energy is so great. So I really do enjoy teaching them and just getting to come in and see the fun activities that I've planned for them and the crafts and all that. So it's been a lot of fun.
I went and read to them at Christmas, and their energy was good for me for about 2 hours. And then
He was reading a reindeer book.
yeah.
And all
It
of a
took you
sudden,
2 hours? Well, I know he's slow, but
Yeah.
but he was reading this reindeer book, and then all of a sudden one of the kids raised their hand, and they're like, Mr. Greg, now what do you do for a living?
Oh, no
And it
kidding.
was nothing to do with the book. And Greg looks at me and I was like, yep, that's what you're going to get. They're just
All day,
always
every day.
thinking,
Always been
always
there.
thinking.
Yeah.
Interesting. They've heard their parents ask that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
anyways, yeah. So what do you do?
I'm a private investigator. Well, I'm a private investigator. So
Watch out point. No.
Yeah, exactly. I can find you. That's what we tell people to come to our group. If you don't come back, we can find you.
We can find you.
Yeah, exactly. So I started out. I've been in insurance my whole life. From an adjuster level, I was an agent. I was an adjuster, and about 15 years ago, went into private investigations. So now I handle. I don't do any field work or anything like that anymore. I handle business development, national business development. So I travel a lot. It's less this year, thankfully.
Yeah, it has been. It has been.
I travel a lot and go see clients and go get clients and do all that fun stuff.
So tell us the kind of things that you're typically investigating. Are you investigating people like that are in accidents and they're requesting disability and that kind of stuff?
That's it. So we don't do any domestic, thank goodness. So domestic's messy. So we have quite a few stories that we can tell. So yeah, we do mostly insurance, workers' comp, disability for all, and we've had some real interesting ones that I send them. Sometimes I send them. I used to send them to her email at work. She told me I couldn't do them anymore because sometimes people would come outside and take off their clothing. Which
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
People are just
Yeah. Okay.
right,
Yeah.
right.
so. But there is a lot of cases where it is interesting. It's not a boring job for
No,
sure.
it's not.
It is
We
not.
had one recently. I'll tell you right quick. That was a gentleman who had a head injury in city. You know, it impacted him to the point where he felt awkward even going to the grocery store because he couldn't communicate and it felt awkward in society and didn't like to be in social situations. And we documented him trying out for the community theater production of Hello, Dolly. So, and the bad parts, he didn't even make the cast.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
He's gonna need his disability even more. All right. So
Exactly.
let's do a public service announcement right there. Right there's the camera.
Yeah.
That people can see you.
Yes.
What do you want to tell people that they need to know about trying to get away with stuff in insurance?
Just watch over your shoulder.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it.
actually keep doing it because I need a job.
Well, it's like police officers say, man, if we've got your cell phone, we got you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Those kind of
exactly.
things.
Exactly.
So how long have you been with us?
We have been at the point since we came about a year before we moved from the Y. How long ago?
Yeah,
that's
2013.
been? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
Over a
about
decade, 11 years.
Over a decade, right. So we
'Cause
started
Logan
coming.
was little.
Yeah. So it would be because she was a baby and
Yeah,
she's
she
about to
was.
turn 13.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Right.
And you've done lots of things. I mean, you're hyper involved, and man, if there's ever an example of a couple that we'd love to have cloned, we'd love it to be you guys. Tell us
Appreciate
about
that.
some of the
Appreciate
things that you've done and why you do them.
Yeah. Would you like me cloned?
Oh. No, I'm just
There you
joking.
go.
We love the point. It's hard to find a home church.
We went to several.
We have
We let me back up a second. We lived uptown when we first got married.
Charlotte.
We did,
We did.
and so we went to Park Road Baptist just because the preacher there was the preacher I grew up with in Clinton, Russell Dean. It was his son Russ was the preacher at Park.
Okay.
Road. So we started at Park Road.
We did.
The Baptist, and yeah, some funny stories then. I was not as plugged in then as I am now. I was the one that wanted just to go to church, and I would sneak out in the last song, so I could avoid contact. And it was so fun. Funny story was once, and Holly's not. She's gonna stay till the last note sung, and you're gone. And she told me one day, and it was so fun. I'll never forget this. I leaned over to her on the last song, and I told her, I said, all right, let's sneak out of here right quick. She told me, she said, I'm not going to hell so you can get on the lake.
That's hilarious.
we are not leaving early.
Right.
And we grew up different. So he grew up Baptist, and I grew up Pentecostal. So that is two different.
Southern Baptist to a Pentecostal.
Yeah. So
right.
It was hard to find a home church, but we did. I mean, we went to Park Road for a while.
We did.
And then we moved to Mount Holly.
Okay.
And then where did we go in Mount Holly? Forget now.
We went to several different churches.
Yeah, we
just
bounced
didn't
around.
go.
We went to one consistently for about a year, and then we heard about the point. So I was like, well, let's check it out. And
Who told you? Or did you find it online? Or
I
something
don't
like that?
really. I don't. I think we may have saw the flag waving when we rode by the
something
way.
along those lines. Yeah. And we were kind of still looking. I was like,
I'm like, let's try it out.
Yeah. And we did, and we actually loved it. I was like, this is a good, happy medium for us.
It was.
And so we kept going and you know, and it did. It took us a while. We were at church. We were at the point for about a year and a half before we started to get plugged in.
We did.
And
I tried to sneak in and out there too.
Yes,
and
I
then got
did.
caught.
And I finally was like, hey,
Lake is always calling, right?
Yeah,
always
bro.
calling.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Son is always calling his name.
It
He
is.
doesn't like to be indoors.
Brad and Jonathan Robertson reeled us in.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, I've been praying that we find somewhere to plug in.
Yep.
And it was funny because nobody cornered me. They cornered the guy that needed to be plugged in at the time. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
they,
Well, I was one of these that did. I didn't want to do group. I didn't want to talk about my feelings. I didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
yeah.
But and that's what when you before you do it, you think that's what it is. You
Yeah.
know?
But it's not that.
It's not that at
No.
all, and that's So once I got into it, I mean, man, once we got plugged in, I loved it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so it's
And it's changed our lives. It changes, it's a whole new,
it's friendships, it's fellowship,
that's
it's
exactly
friendships,
right.
it's community.
yes,
It's
it really is.
yeah, it is. It's
And so we plugged in and we did group for a few years as far as just attending group. And then
It's a big group. Brad actually, who's our missionary to Minnesota.
Yeah.
He led that group up there and
yep.
with Jonathan.
I was very thankful for them. They did a lot. They hosted at their house, which I couldn't even imagine doing that
Every
now.
week, yeah.
Every week.
Kids stayed in one room and we were in the other. Yeah.
And so we we did that, and then someone said, "Hey, did we co-led with
we
co-led
did
with another couple
for a while.
for us?"
At one point in time,
there
there was three. We split out into three. We would have one big group session and then split into three
Yeah, because we had so many
subgroups
people.
when that was done. Right.
Correct. So, and then slowly we've just been leading group, and led to us leading group, and we love it. I look forward to coming back, and we have a lot.
And you're
of
good
people.
at it too. You really put people at ease.
Yeah.
We have fun. We have
do.
fun. So
We do
we're
have
doing
fun.
we're doing the Amazing Race this year with this semester.
Tell us about that. So you've designed a special group curriculum to grow closer as married couples, where you're learning how to apply
Right.
Scripture to life, and you're playing games every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Night, right?
That's it.
So Leslie and Clark,
Bergen.
yep, they we co-host with them now.
Okay.
And so
Which is
Clark
awesome.
was
Yeah,
the
they're
one who was
awesome.
like, "Hey, I've come up with this idea of Amazing Race," and we were like, "Okay." So we went out to eat, sat down, and went through it. And we were like, "This is awesome," because usually we watch a video and then we'll have some discussion.
Yeah, we used to do a
questions.
lot off Right Now Media.
Yes, and we love Right Now Media. I still do, but
We've been leading so long, we've kind of run out of.
yeah, there's
You've
only
already
so
used it
many.
all.
There's not so many that Francis Chan did.
Yeah.
That's right. He's a great source.
He is. So, and so Greg and Clark have been going back and forth and leading, but
Right.
it's been great just to how you run your race with your marriage.
Yeah.
And, we talk about just last week talking about, what motivates you in a race or, and tying it back to marriage. But yeah, what was our last game that we played?
Well,
Yeah.
we
So
don't
you
wanna
create
talk
a
about
challenge every night.
that. So what
every-
we do is we come in, we have a challenge, we have a game or a challenge. We start out with that maybe the first 15, 20 minutes,
Yep.
and then go into the
Our
session.
discussion.
So the last one was we got 3 100-piece jigsaw puzzles.
Okay.
And split into groups of 3. Count them off: 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Split in groups of 3, and you had 15 minutes to see who got the furthest. I'm not a puzzle guy, I'm
a puzzle person. I like puzzles. So our
the
group,
team that I was on was really a struggle.
Yeah, okay.
I think in 15 minutes I got maybe 2 or 3 pieces together.
Oh, wow.
And in 15 minutes her team got the whole puzzle together.
No
a
kidding.
whole
Yeah.
100, and they got it together in 10 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
So
We did
That's
really good. We
amazing.
knocked it out.
it is.
It was good teamwork, honestly.
It was good teamwork.
Everybody's
So
like, take edges, take corners. And we were like dividing.
I
It
was
great.
quite the liability.
And I was like, Greg, they kept distracting us. They would come over and steal our pieces. I was like, what are you guys doing? But that's just the type of fun we have in group.
It
We
is.
love it. I mean, it's just
Excellent.
good laugh and good
It's
fellowship.
great.
And then how did you apply that to your life in marriage?
So we take a different topic every week.
That
This
just
week,
broke the ice. And
yeah,
basically-
It does,
And
it
then,
does.
And then this week was motivation and encouragement.
Yeah.
So
Was.
like last week was teamwork. So we tie it back to the things that help you thrive in an actual race, a marathon, which you would know a lot about.
Yeah.
And things that
Well,
make you
a little.
Yeah, and
More than me.
Slowly.
More than me, yeah. Yeah. I run a half K. Things that make you thrive in a marriage, and tie it to things that make you thrive in a marathon, or things that make you thrive as a contestant on The Amazing Race. What it takes, kind of tie them together with different topics. So I have to give Clark credit for that. He kind of drew the outline, and then he and I split it up on who leads on each specific week. So
that's awesome.
It's fun stuff. Yep.
Clark is a guy, man. He's a mile a minute. He's got all kinds of ideas.
He does.
He's so creative.
Yeah.
He is.
Love him and Leslie.
Yes,
so
I do
they're
too.
awesome. Hope
we've been
hope
very
we continue
blessed.
to lead with them. So it's been great. Yeah.
It's really been. But yeah, and it's great to see everybody come together, either have similar issues or different issues that we can work through, and just different perspectives. Everybody brings a different perspective, and it's great.
We've seen a lot of seasons.
Yes,
we've seen a lot of seasons.
We have seen
What
a
would
lot
you
of
say to people that are reticent about joining a group because they think it's about feelings or therapy and all that kind of stuff?
I would say that is this my camera?
This
I'm gonna look
camera?
right in the camera.
Right there? There you go.
So do it. It's not. We don't sit around and talk about feelings. It's not Dr. Phil. It's there's times it can be raw. I want and it's good, and it's sharing, and it's supporting, but for the most part we're having fun. I mean it's fun, and it's fellowship, and I mean like I said, we do this every week as far as the game, and then a couple of weeks ago we said heck with it and cooked hamburgers and hamburgers and hot dog or cooked hot dogs, and so I don't think you can really connect until you join a group. You can't and then once you connect, then you there's a sense of fulfillment. It is. And you want to.
We look forward to doing it. I mean, it is something that we look forward to, that you get to do, and you have same like-minded people,
right?
And it is just so much fun to just get together with everybody, And when we don't do groups, when we take off sometimes in the summer, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so good to get back together," because it is just that fellowship that you need, and you plug in, and it's nice to go to church and see people and catch up with them and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And really dive in and. We've really enjoyed it. So I would tell people definitely do groups, because I know you were hesitant. I wanted to join a group.
Well, and the same reason I think a lot of people are hesitant. Because I think it's guys.
Yeah.
Guys
There's
don't
a reason you wanted to get out of church in the first place in the service, right?
Yeah. And because guys, it's easy if you don't connect because there's no accountability. And so if you get out and you don't meet anybody, you don't talk to anybody, there's no accountability. Thing I love now is we'll be gone to the beach or something for a couple weekends, and when I come back, you have 6-7 people. Where you been? Where you been? There's an accountability. If we don't show up, people notice.
And not where you been like that, but more like, man, we miss you and you're not here.
Exactly.
Well, it could have been with me, like, but it's an accountability, and it's hard to describe. It's a good accountability. It's like and it makes you want to do more and serve more. I mean, it's just, I don't know, there's a fulfillment to me. There's like a, just.
Was that your first step other than attending on a Sunday morning to get into a group?
It was.
Yeah,
okay.
It was.
And then you've served in all kinds of different capacities. Tell us about some of the things that you've done.
For us, it started off with the welcome team.
Oh, we do that. Yep.
We do the welcome team. We started off doing that with coffee. That's back.
Yeah, we started off coffee. The Hebrews.
Yeah.
Hebrews.
Yeah, Hebrews.
Yeah.
Loved it. Welcomed people in.
Yeah. Now we got master baristas out there. They're above our pay grade.
No, nobody wants.
We got downgraded to door duty.
No, I just
French
enjoy
vanilla.
the coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, I love working with kids. I've always loved working with kids. So there was a little bit of a need there to work with kids. So I started stepping in when they needed me for Kids Point. And that's what I still do. I tell Summer, like, we still work welcome team. So I was like, if you ever need me, let me know.
Yeah.
We do.
And
we both
have. And now they're like, hey, can you and Greg serve? Last week we served together because we had such a smaller kid, because everybody went to the 9:30 service. But anyway, so we came together and served Kids Point
Pulled the fourth and fifth graders
together.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's always good for the boys when you're like, hey, we're going with the girls today. Oh,
Yeah.
But and love it. We really do. That's
we do.
really lately.
We're the relief pitchers for Kids Point. So when they need somebody, they call to the bullpen.
Well,
so
I appreciate you doing that too, because a lot of times school teachers, when you say, hey, would you help us with kids on the weekend, because you're an expert, right? It's kind of like, I did that at the office, and you can, I can understand that perspective to some degree, but from your perspective, you're like, well, no, man, why would I not use the thing I do best on Sunday anyway?
Exactly. And it's about helping kids need it, and making that impact.
Well, it's great.
It is. We love it. So I enjoy, and I get to I go from first grade to fourth and fifth. So it's totally different perspective. Like,
right.
Educate. They're way more independent. So it's actually a lot of fun.
And way more educated.
Yeah. It is. It's actually a lot of fun. And it's fun to see their perspective when we do a Bible story. You actually learn from them more, I feel, than anything else taking it away from it. Like sometimes we'll walk away and I'm like, I didn't even think about it like that. But they had a good point or whatever. So we really have been enjoying that as well in Kids Point too. So.
They say the children shall lead us, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they ask questions.
Yeah, they do.
Matter of fact, we had the hardest question ever asked to me. One time they just asked me to go outside and, could you please answer this question? And Brooklyn is her name. Brooklyn, you're out there, shout out to your question. She said, why in the Bible does it say that God sent an evil spirit to Saul? Can God send an evil spirit? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Wow, why don't you just give me.
Right.
And I told him, to answer the question, not keep you hanging, that God kind of just removed his hand to say, okay, I'm going to let the natural course take its course.
Yeah.
Instead of, I'm going to cause evil to happen.
Right.
Exactly.
But, I mean, they're really thinking about deep questions.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They really do.
It is.
Even some were like, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
So or hey, that's a good question. So
it is a good question. And the fact that you're willing to answer almost any question is just a great gift to them.
Yeah.
So Brent, who works with our students as well, too, is behind the camera over there. And you also know this as well, but we learned a couple of years ago at Stewart Hall, who was a youth expert, came and talked to us on the weekend. He said, puberty now is 4th and 5th grade. It's not 7th, 8th, and 9th grade anymore. They're exposed to so much more and that kind of stuff. So the fact 100%. That you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And you guys are really just hyper involved and an inspiration to me as a pastor. And
thank you.
If you're a pastor out there, man, these are the folks that just, make your heart sing. So, but how has what we've done as a church helped you to take your next step on your journey with Jesus? You were brought up in church and things like that, and you did things. And how did that happen?
Well, I think that our church is just very, when you look at everything that we do with connections points, with support, with everything like that, just the there's just a big communication, a big education push, a big encouragement push. I think. It's just you want to do it, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's hard to explain. There's and you hear this all the time, and it's cliche, but there's churches that are alive, and our church is alive.
Glory to God. Amen.
And and it's filled with people that are alive, and it's growing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, and I pray all the time that God gives us the answers to how we're going to accommodate it. But I love that problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I'll let you answer, but that's.
No, it is. It definitely is. I want to serve. God calls us to serve, to give back. And that's where it starts for me. And to kind of switch gears a little bit, but we also had great examples. Your parents served. My parents served in the church, and to see them be an impact on the church and to help it grow, to help it be successful is all glory to God, but we're called to serve and we're called to give back. And so as long as I can, we will, And so funny story, first time we went, she told me she was living in West Virginia and she was Pentecostal. And so when I first went up there to visit her the first time,
did you bring a snake or something?
Well, that's the funny. So I went up to visit her for her parents. I went to meet her parents. We went to dinner that one night and asked them. I said, "Well, if I'm going to church with you Sunday, do I have to bring my own snake? Or you guys issue me one?" So So her dad went out and bought a rubber snake and put it in a shoebox and brought it to the service that day.
He said, "Hey, here's your snake in the box." And I was like,
Snake in the box.
Yeah. And so Greg opened it up, and it was a rubber snake. We just busted out laughing. So
Did
funny.
he do it kind of tentatively?
So,
So I was just like, please don't let anybody speak in tongues, because I don't know, he might run out of here.
Right.
But
Right.
it was hilarious. But yeah,
But you guys have brought that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You guys have brought different perspectives then to your marriage.
Oh, yeah.
The way
Oh,
you
yeah.
celebrate
It is.
your relationship with Christ.
100%.
yeah.
And how we view it, and just and we've really have grown, because you're right, like you bring in so many different things into marriage, and we've learned to really grow together as one. I really do believe that.
Yeah, we really do.
And that is glory to God as well, because we even our religion was different, and we've had some compromise on that, but
We did.
like I said, the point really was a great place for us to start, and we love it. It's just been our home church, and I feel like that's hard to find.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, to get back to your question, I mean, I think that we look for ways as a church, the leadership of the church looks for ways to evolve, looks for ways to connect and evolve and to encourage, and as far as as it goes with serving and volunteers, I mean, that's big, you know. Yeah. So and look for ways to highlight that and to highlight the I know for us it's like I'm not a morning person, so and for whatever reason we got second Sunday is when we serve on the welcome team. Well, second Sunday of March is always daylight savings.
You miss your hour of sleep.
Always daylight savings,
and he has to get up. Oh, and he has to get up early. Oh, it's so funny.
You can ask her. I have such anxiety that night before because I don't go to bed till late.
Yeah.
I have such anxiety. I set the clocks ahead at like 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon to go ahead and start mentally adjusting.
Yeah.
But it's
freaks me out. I'm like, wait, what time is it? I was like, oh no, I've already set the clock, Sonny. I'm like, oh, okay, good, because I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I have such anxiety on that Sunday, but it's so funny because you get up and you do it, and you just at the end you're just so fulfilled.
Yes.
You're filled up. When it's over, it's just awesome.
Well, you're an inspiration to us, and we appreciate you.
No,
Tell us about how you came to Christ. When did you come to Christ, and how did you make the decision to follow Him?
You go ahead.
I was pretty young.
Okay.
When I accepted Christ in my life. Like I said, I grew up in church, so it's always been part of my DNA. I feel like and I do remember I was probably first or second grade, and I was at a friend's house. One of my best friends, she went to church with me. We were at a spend the night party, and we were talking, and she was like, "Well, have you ever accepted Christ?" And I was like, "I don't know, She's like, "Oh, He comes to live in your heart, but you got to accept Him." And so she did. She ended up like leading me to Christ.
Second grade
Yes.
evangelist. Wow.
And her mom came in, and they did the prayer with me, and I remember, and her mom actually ended up writing in her Bible and had like a little Bible marker, and I think my mom still has it to this day. But that's when I first accepted Christ.
That's awesome.
And then, like I said, I grew up in church and served, helped with youth, even like, kind of like our collision team, SALT team does. And then I didn't get baptized till I was 15.
Okay.
So finally made that full, this is, what God called us to do. And so I was about 15 years old when I first got baptized.
Awesome.
So, yep. So that is kind of my story, and just, kept growing. Like I said, we went to college. Yeah. College years got a little sticky, but
yeah, I understand.
I think when we both first met, we were like, if we're gonna, if this is gonna be what we decide to do to get married, that our foundation is gonna be on God. Yeah. And so that is where we started out. I was like, we're not perfect people. There's a lot that we both need to grow at, but that is one thing we both really had a deep conversation. I was like, if we're going to do this, I want to make sure that...
Yeah, you had that conversation.
Yeah, that God is going to be the center of our life, right. And so that is kind of how we've grown, and, how I started off.
So you met Greg on the boat and decided to take him on as a missions project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she did.
I did.
Yeah. So.
He needed a lot of help.
Actually, her sister-in-law told her to stay away from him.
Yeah, she's like, whatever you do, don't go for Greg. I was like, okay, I'm like 21. I'm young. I didn't even
So
think
you
about
made up
it.
with your sister-in-law yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Now I
loves me
think-
now. I was single at the time, and I dated a few, and she was. Yeah,
She was
so
like, "Oh, Greg, he doesn't want to settle down," and I'm
Yeah.
21. I'm like, "Okay, I
I
don't
don't care. Yeah.
whatever, you know." And next
Right.
thing you know,
Right, we're married.
We're married.
We're married. Yeah. So so my parents. I'm the youngest of three.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's 4 years older than me, and my brother's 8 years older than me. My parents were on the youth committee at First Baptist in Clinton, and so when I went to all the retreats and everything, so I was probably more accelerated, on that path. I was young, 9 or 10. And through being around there, we had a beach retreat every year at Garden City, and so I was down there with them. And on the last night, they would have Vespers, and people would stand up and give their testimony, and a lot of youth would come to Christ, and being exposed to that and seeing that, I decided at a young age that's what I wanted to do, and being the diva that I am, I ended up doing it on Easter Sunday, I think, with my pink coat and my white pants, and there's a picture of me. We were breaking ground on the bell tower at First Baptist Church, and so I got to break ground on the bell tower. Yeah,
Where did you go?
Yeah, you know that.
That's
No,
awesome.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so
I got to see those
Learning about
pictures.
you.
yeah.
I need to see him too.
There's a picture of that. Yeah, I think my
Remind
brother
me to
has it.
show you a picture of Greg when he was in.
Okay. All right.
So that started with me at a young age, and so to be honest, and I went up through youth group and everything, and was really connected to the church, and then became connected, and then I got married and divorced, and after the time I got divorced, I kind of fell away from church for a while. So not away from Christianity, not away from belief, but away from church, and so when we met, that was that you kind of told me that was kind of the deal. Like, hey, we're gonna do. So then I got back into it, and glad I did.
Started
Absolutely.
looking for churches and getting plugged in, and
Right.
and thankful we did.
So now, I got away from. I got away. It's so funny because you got away from it. Now I look forward every day, pulling up, and listening to a Charles Stanley message.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Charles is preaching from heaven.
I do. And
He's still out there.
Yeah. So. And Terrell, he sends us those every day.
Yeah.
It puts it right at our fingertips.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
So somebody said to us, as a matter of fact, Keanu said this, who's new to our church. He said, when you come to the point, once you get in, you're like in the mafia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's you're made, and people know who you are, and that kind of stuff. And we just wish that for everybody. If you're out there considering, taking another step by getting into a group or serving, it's the greatest way to get to know other people and to make a difference in the world. And you guys are exemplary candidates.
You won't regret it. You
follow.
really won't.
And if you're a couple, Tuesday nights at 6:30.
Come see us.
So there you go. There's doing some recruiting out there.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So you also have a very active daughter. Tell us about her.
Oh wow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, she's something else. So we've got.
She's Greg 2.0.
She
Okay.
is. She's me. Yeah. She's yeah. So it's an interesting story. So Holly and I don't know if you could tell because I look extremely young.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about
But
it.
there's a 13-year age difference between us. And an interesting fact about our family is I have a daughter from my first marriage that's 25. Holly is 13 years younger than her. So my Holly's 13 years younger than me.
Right.
My oldest daughter's 13 years younger than Holly, and Logan's 13 years younger than my oldest daughter.
Really?
So when we
Lucky
first
13.
Yeah.
when we first got married and traveled as a family, nobody could figure out what was going on.
No.
So
Yeah.
they didn't,
Did
So
not
yeah. So my oldest daughter is she's
She's
a
also-
school teacher.
School teacher too,
Yeah.
right? Rock Hill?
In Rock Hill.
In Rock
She's
Hill.
moving. She's just called me 2 weeks ago and said she's moving to Beaufort. So
Okay.
she's going down to teach down there. She went to college down there.
Yep.
To
She got
Charleston
it.
Southern or something?
No, she went to USC Beaufort, the Bluffton
Beaufort,
campus.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So she's moving down there, and she's
got an
going. Which
opportunity.
I don't mind her living at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd go down and visit.
I think it'll
Yeah.
be good for her. I'm excited. A little sad, but I'm excited for her because I
Right.
think it'll be a good opportunity
Right.
for her. And she's going to be teaching, what, 5th grade?
Yeah, I think 5th grade.
So
Yeah.
she's moving.
She's
in 4th now. I think
got
she's
a,
moving up
got
to
a
5th.
serious boyfriend, and
Yes.
his
Okay.
family's from Beaufort, so
we'll see
a
how-
nice guy. We like him a
Yes,
lot.
we do.
Fantastic.
we do.
Yeah.
I've never been to Beaufort.
He's a
South Carolina, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
her
he
boyfriend's
So you say Beaufort, North Carolina.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
say
Beaufort,
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
That's crazy.
Her boyfriend's a South Carolina Gamecock, so we
He's light. We like that.
Dagger in the heart.
we had to get past that. Yeah. So
I don't know if we're past it, but
No, yeah.
let me tell you, we went over to his apartment to let out
He
his
asked
dog.
me to let his dog out when he was gone one time.
and
So.
Greg put all the South Carolina stuff on the trash can.
I did. I took it all down and put it on the trash can for him.
That's hilarious.
So, but no, he's a
good.
great guy.
Yeah.
So, and then Logan, get back to Logan.
Yeah, sorry.
Logan's a ball of energy. She is so she's into volleyball. She's very much into her church. She's in Collision. She's on the SALT, the leadership team. She's on the Sunday morning Kids Point. And
She's an influencer.
Yeah,
She's
she
somebody
is.
that helps to lead other kids.
She is.
And there is such a thing where we have students that are actually influencers
Right.
that serve to help with younger kids.
Right.
They do.
She's-
Logan's one of them.
Yes, and she's not perfect by any means, but she's perfect in my eyes. She's and I pray over her every night. She has such a spirit and such a passion for Christ, and it's awesome. I mean,
Amen.
yeah, and but she's fine.
She's going to be 13, so
Okay.
we're
Right.
embracing it all. And
Lord help that next
Yes.
era.
Yes.
please, because it is, she, like Greg said, she really is a sweetheart, but we can start to see the teen come out
Sure.
of her.
You can.
So,
can.
but I do agree with Greg. She really has a heart for God, and she loves serving. She loves giving back as well. She's on production on Wednesday now. Makes me a little nervous. I'm like, oh gosh,
Oh
is
yeah,
she
she
gonna?
does do production.
She said
now.
she messed
Okay.
up once on the slide.
Nate said she does
Fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate
So
told me she
she's
did
really
great,
picking
so.
that up and loving it.
That's
She's-
awesome.
She was serving pizza at first, and then now she's moved up into production, and then she enjoys being the influencer on Sunday. Loves going back with those kiddos. So
That is so cool.
Yeah.
yes, so I've loved to see her grow as well and
Right.
blossom. It's been great. It's been awesome. So
So you have some cool Logan stories. Like one time at dinner, she said something to you like, "Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was about. It was about
Oh, so good.
what was it? It was like, Dad, something about you were eating something that she didn't like.
Oh,
Yeah,
so we
well-
went to Chicago. It was this has been several years ago. She was
Yes.
a lot smaller, and we went to Chicago, and Clemson was playing Notre Dame, so we flew in Chicago early to go to the game. So flight runs a little late. We get down, and the airport's a good bit from downtown. We finally get downtown. We get checked into the hotel room. It's probably 9:00. We're
we're
starving.
starving.
So we go to the restaurant, and
Right around the corner. We said, "Hey, where's your closest restaurant?"
little Italian
And the
restaurant. It
guy's
ended up
like, "Oh,
being
you got-"
great. People were awesome. It was like a place locals go.
Yeah.
But anyway, they had Parmesan cheese, and I was so hungry, I was sprinkling Parmesan cheese on my hand and eating.
Yeah.
And so then Logan,
Protein.
yeah. So Logan got a little loud and a little boisterous, and I told her, I was like, Logan, we're here to have fun, but you need to act,
Right, we're in a
right. You need
restaurant.
to act like you're in a restaurant. She said, Dad, I will, but to be fair, you're eating Parmesan cheese out of your hand.
Greg's
She
like,
called
"Good
you out.
point."
She is. She's got a quick wit.
She does.
She does have a quick wit.
Hey, thanks,
so.
Logan. Thanks for leading in production as well too.
Yes.
So
yes.
we got a future Brent behind the board over
Yeah,
there. That's
exactly.
right.
Right, she might take over your job.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
And
yeah,
so
she's-
Brent leads on Wednesday nights for Collision.
Oh, so how does she do? Brent, you will know. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
He's just the front of the house on
I
that
got
night.
you. Okay.
I got you.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, she's enjoying it. I think
She does. She really
like
does.
it.
So yeah, she's.
And we always do. I give Brent a shout out. I know the guys behind the cameras are supposed to be invisible, but he does a great job with us, and I want to thank him for all that he does. He's a
Absolutely.
jack
Yes.
of all trades.
Yes.
Does good things.
Yes.
Need you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's just throw out some questions here.
All right.
I could say Carolina or Clemson, but we already know the answer to that question.
Yes.
Clemson, go Tigers.
All right, there you go. See, deception happens across the board.
Can't help it.
Night people or day people? Who's the night person? Who's the day person?
Night.
Okay.
So I was night. Now that I get up so early,
Yeah.
I'm more day. This summer that might change, but
Okay.
I go to
growing
bed.
up, I used to be the night person, and he's a night person, and Logan's a night person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go
Even
to-
when I was pregnant, she was rolling around in my belly at 2:00 in the morning.
child has never napped ever.
Really?
Never
nap.
Never
She
nap.
just
Now
doesn't.
she.
And you're
She-
still
I mean,
sane?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She would nap, but not for long. Like
not after she was 3 or 4.
yeah, about 3 or 4. Even daycare would call us and they're like, she's just
like
rolling
she
around.
won't go to sleep. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like she don't go to bed till like midnight.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Wow.
So
She
but
just
yeah,
is a night owl.
4 or 5 hours of sleep, she's good to go.
Yep.
So I stay up till 12:30 at night during the week, and about 2 on the weekends.
Okay.
About
So I'm the night owl.
10:30.
So you have to keep up with ESPN and what's going on in the sports world.
Yeah, I think I've always just been scared that I'm gonna miss something.
You got major FOMO.
I got
Fear of missing out.
That I'm gonna miss something. Yeah, and there's nothing in the morning I want to see.
I do have to laugh. He did get. Where did we go?
we were at the beach.
Yeah, we were at the beach, and we ended up having to get up early, and so we went and got coffee, and we walked the boardwalk, and everybody's like, "Good morning, good morning." He's like, "Wow, people are so nice in the morning."
I'm like they're ticked off by the time I get up.
That's funny.
So
Right.
yeah, so right now I would say I'm more of a day person, but
I'm more than night person.
but yeah, definitely growing up I was a night person.
Yep.
So beach or mountains?
Oh, gosh, beach.
1000%.
There you go. You just took off with that.
We
in a
need
hurry.
one beach, one mountain trip. Usually we try to do a year just because we enjoy it, but
Yeah.
definitely
We like the mountains.
Yeah, it's not that we hate them.
So where do
It's
you go
just-
when you go to mountains?
But
Gatlinburg or Boone?
usually Boone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been to both off and on.
Yeah.
So
We try to hit one a year.
yeah, we do. Try to go up there and,
Yeah.
and
We
enjoy
love. I
it.
like Boone. I like that area.
Yeah, we do.
Favorite restaurant within a 5-mile radius of where we are right now?
We don't
Within
go
a
to eat
5-mile radius
much,
right
but if
now.
we do,
You can go 10. That's 10. We'll give you 10.
what is our favorite place to eat?
God, if you go 10-mile radius, we eat it. Not that it's anything nice, but we eat at Hillbillies all the time.
Hillbillies, all right.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah,
We do
so,
eat at
yeah, it's
Hillbillies.
good.
We
Quick
just said-
barbecue,
yeah.
love it. So
Yep.
we
People are nice.
we always like Sammy's too. We used to go to Sammy's on a weekly basis before Logan got
Yeah.
involved and everything. I'd go get wings on a Thursday night.
Lately too, we've liked Bolton's in Mount Holly.
Oh,
yeah. We're in and we got Sammy works at
Works
Bolton.
there.
Sammy Probst works at Bolton.
Yeah,
So,
really. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
does,
So
How about that?
Yeah.
Sammy used to work at Sammy's for a while.
Did she?
Did she?
Yes,
I didn't
she
know
was
that.
actually the hostess at Sammy's.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I love Sammy. I love
We
her
love
too.
you, Sammy.
Yeah.
She's out there.
Yeah.
This is a girl who changed the world. I'll never forget this. She says that she wants to be a welder and a cosmetologist. She wants to do hair and
Yeah,
weld.
she'll probably
I was going
do it,
like,
yeah.
how do you do all that? And she's found this kind of
Right.
groove where she's studying welding or studying welding.
Good
And,
for
anyway,
her.
so Sammy,
Well,
you're
Yes.
tip top.
Well, and we got to know them
Through
looping it all
group.
back together through group,
That's
through
true.
with Dennis and Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So back to Bolton's. Okay.
Yes.
So we
Bolton's,
do
yeah.
like
Go
Bolton's.
ahead.
That's
Yep,
been
like-
Tell us
one
about
of our
Bolton's.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, gosh.
Smash burger.
Smash
Oh, yeah,
burgers.
it's
We
good.
share the fries and
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Don't they
just
have
good.
some kind of challenge where if you eat this 20-pound hamburger or something?
Yes, I'm too old for that.
Yeah,
That
okay.
would- I think I'd feel bad for like a week.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
did
if we
that.
could do the challenge.
So big shout out for Bolton's. It's
Yeah.
amazing. If you're a smash burger fan,
Yeah.
that's where you want to go.
If you've never been,
100%.
go try it. It is
Yes.
good. Little place, but worth it
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Like it.
Cruising or skiing?
Cruising?
Like snow skiing or going on a cruise?
Oh,
Oh, that's
neither.
big. Well, because so I don't like a lot of people.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
still resisting the Disney trip.
Okay.
So because
crowds are not his favorite.
No,
So
not my
holidays
favorite thing.
at
and I don't like cold.
Amazon shopping was the best thing ever for
for
Greg
me.
Shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do your shopping in 30 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
you want to see me break out in a sweat? Take me to a mall in December.
Yeah.
It's,
Not his favorite thing.
No.
I would imagine because you're a PI, the more you know about people and what can go wrong around a bunch of people, the harder it is to be around a bunch of people,
Well,
right?
a quick story on that
Yeah.
is I just taken some as a PI to keep your license up. You have to take training. I took training that really had nothing to do with what I do. It was active shooter training and everything. So stuff that police officers would be
interesting,
more.
but
It is
yeah.
interesting. So we went to Lion King.
Okay.
You got it for a gift, anniversary or birthday or something like that. And he was
Yeah.
like, got to, because I like Broadway shows.
Took her to a Broadway show down in the orchestra section at Belk Theater, and it's in the middle of Lion King, and I'm looking around, and Holly,
I'm
she's
enjoying
like,
it.
She
I'm like,
said,
"Oh."
she tells, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
I said,
"Babe," I was
they really don't check you when you come here, so somebody could get up in that balcony and just
Start shooting?
yeah,
Yeah. He was
so,
like, start
exactly.
popping people. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that just changed my
Right.
mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But it, I mean, which
So
is
you do.
good. I mean,
You do.
you do need to be aware
Right.
of your surroundings, but still. I
exactly.
was
So
like,
yeah,
okay.
so I like a cruise if it's not crowded.
Yeah.
It would definitely be a cruise. I don't like cold weather.
We've never been skiing. I grew up skiing, I guess. I
That's
grew
right.
up
Yeah.
skiing. I have. But
I've been skiing.
you have,
It's
but we just
hadn't
together,
been
like, since we've been together, we've never.
We've been snow tubing.
Snow tubing several times.
I don't like
but,
cold weather. So
Yeah.
it's,
And every year we say we're going to go because
we
Logan's never been, but we don't.
Yeah.
No, we've never.
Understandable. No
No.
problem. So if you had a choice, East Coast or West Coast?
Oh, East Coast.
East Coast.
And where on the East Coast?
At the beach.
Just,
the beach,
Yeah,
okay.
any
Definitely.
beach place.
Cherry Grove Point.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love to spend some time down there too.
I know.
Yeah.
We see it. We
That's
see
right.
it out there. Yeah.
Pretty down there. So
Yeah, we love it.
East Coast City or West Coast City? What is it? What's your favorite
East Coast City.
city?
Best city I love most on probably Savannah.
Savannah?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I like Savannah too.
Okay.
We like Savannah.
I do.
Yeah.
I like the old
West Coast I
Charleston.
like San Diego.
Charleston's nice. Yeah.
I've never been. I'd like
Yeah,
to go
she's
to-
never been. So
to
I travel out to the West Coast a lot. So
Yeah.
I go to San Diego.
Now, I'm from Tucson, Arizona. That's
Okay.
where I was born.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but I moved when I was younger, so I don't really remember much.
Military or
Nope, just
At
my
jobs?
dad's side of the family was all from Arizona.
How
Oh.
you get from Tucson to West Virginia, I'll never know.
So it's a long story, but my dad went to Fairmont, where I went to school at,
okay?
and he met my mom in West Virginia. I don't-
And your parents go to our church. You know,
Yeah.
so
They do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love,
they do.
love them. Love.
Oh, and Mom
love,
works at Chick-fil-A. She
Yeah.
brought us free ice cream
My mom
yesterday.
does work at Chick-fil-A.
love my mother. And
Shout
father.
out to
Yeah.
free ice cream. Thank
Yeah.
you. Most beautiful smile
Lisa
and most
Hunter,
wonderful
Tom Hunter,
host.
they're the best.
And they moved. So Holly moved down here, and now they live a quarter mile away from us.
They
So
live in
it's
our
easy,
neighborhood, yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
But
They're great people.
Long story is my dad somehow I don't know. Anyways, he was in West Virginia for school, and so he met my mom, and then they moved back to Arizona where all his family was
Okay.
from. And so
That's where you were born?
That was where I was
Okay.
born, and so I lived out there till I was about 4. I've been to California before. I actually. Sorry, a lot of probably inside jokes.
No
here,
problem.
but
It is.
Tell us.
I did the Rose Bowl parade in high school, so I marched it for band.
And every year when it
So-
comes on, she's like, "You know, I was in the
I
Rose
was
Bowl
like,
parade."
did you know I'm in the Rose Bowl?
I was like, "Yes, since last year, the year before." The year.
All 7 miles of it. So it's gonna become a running joke in the
Right.
house. But so I've been out to Hollywood and California, and
Yeah.
we got to see a lot of those things. But as far as it just being a trip in high school,
Yeah.
it's not something I have vacationed out there.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to go out and see
That's why
that.
I think Savannah on the east. I think San
But
Diego.
I
on the
do
west.
San
love
Mm.
the southern charm of just Savannah is probably one of our favorite places.
Yeah.
to
Our
go.
students on a mission trip, Justin and
Yeah.
Bethany took them there last summer.
Mhm.
Had a really good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So would you rather go to Europe or to Asia?
Neither.
No.
You can't. She's got a friend, her best friend, and one of her best friends in high school lives in Germany. And she's been trying to get me to go. I can't sit on a plane that long.
Yeah.
Probably Asia for me
Okay.
between the two.
If you
Yeah,
had to
I
get
would
on a
say
plane.
so. I would
Yeah.
say
Okay.
so. I'd like to
I'd like to
go.
go to Japan.
Okay.
I would like to. Yeah, I would say about the same. We enjoy traveling. I think the older we get, the more you enjoy it for the first day,
Right.
first couple of days. But it takes a lot to
Right.
travel. I think we've noticed like
Mm-hmm.
first day you get there, you're unwinding, then you really enjoy your vacation for a day and a half, and then next thing you know, you're packing up to almost come back.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so,
We see. We go to the beach. It's easy.
So it's for us,
You
just
just
that
throw
we-
it in the car, go down. Yeah.
3.5 hours you're bound. 3.5 hours you're
exactly.
yeah,
bound.
back,
Yeah.
and,
Exactly.
and
So-
it's just,
And
we
it's-
enjoy
it's-
it just as much.
I think it's kind of different. I travel so much for work
He does.
that I don't want to. When I'm not working, I don't want to get on a plane.
Yeah.
And I don't. The last thing I want to do is go to a hotel. I hate a hotel. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So they.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
So
So if you have to pick the hotel you're going to, what's your favorite chain?
Oh. So I love a Marriott.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I love like a Hampton Inn or Holiday Inn because they serve breakfast.
Free food.
Yeah,
Free food, yeah.
exactly.
I love
So
it.
I mean, it's so funny because I go out to Phoenix a lot, and everybody that goes with me stays at the Marriott, and I stay at the Holiday Inn Express right across the street because they got good food.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
College sports or professional sports?
Oh, college.
college for
100%.
sure.
And college, Clemson all the way, right?
All the way.
Yeah. I think my dad was a little heartbroken because West Virginia fans, they really are true fans. That's all we have in West Virginia.
Yeah.
She
So I
converted.
converted. I think that was in our marriage contract. Though.
Well, your dad's got a Clemson shirt.
Yeah,
now,
he does.
so
He
he's,
he does actually pull for Clemson as
Right.
well. But anyways, I couldn't imagine not pulling for them now. Like they're just our team.
They are.
So,
Yeah, we
but
watch-
college for sure.
We watch
everything college.
We watch every football game and most every baseball game if we're home. So
Anything. I mean, And I hate to say it, that's how hardcore we are.
Yeah, we
Clemson, like lacrosse was on the other day, and Logan's like, "Oh, Dad, can we watch this?"
Yeah.
Like, okay, we'll watch anything. So
Love it.
yeah.
So minivan or SUV?
SUV. Although minivan is a whole lot.
I'm more of a minivan.
All right, okay.
like it's.
So did she have one?
No, but we've rented them a couple times.
Okay.
And they're awesome. But I'm getting old. I'm getting to the point where I do it now.
Okay.
I wouldn't have done it 10 years ago, but I'll do it now.
She's worn you out.
She's worn.
I want a third row seat.
I used to worry so much about looking cool. I want to be cool.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to drive the minivan. But now I could care less. I don't have to be. It's like, matter of fact, we've got Logan scared to death because we told her we're going to buy one of those Volkswagen vans, the new Volkswagen Buzz or whatever they're called. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
Logan's like, Dad, please no.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So.
That's why my first car was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
An orange one.
Was
Yes.
I think my dad sold it from where he paid for it.
Yeah, that's it.
Because it was like a thing.
Yeah.
I
That's
know. I
crazy.
cried when I got rid of my first car.
Yep.
I had that thing forever.
So Democrat or Republican? Don't answer that. Not at all.
No.
So as we draw our time to conclusion today, just is there anything that you would say to people about, like, there's some life advice or a life verse or something your mom and daddy told you when you're young that stuck with you or stood with you all this time? What would you tell people?
Wow. And I'll jump in here because there's a couple things. And
probably
my
have the
dad,
best.
my dad was a
Great man.
I mean, I'd probably get choked up.
Yeah.
He was deacon in the church. He was handled their finances. He was an accountant for, I don't know if you remember Collins and Aikman. He started with them, and when they got bought, stayed with them as their head accountant. Awesome guy, but he there's so many things that he told me over the years, but just a couple things that I always remember, and he told me all through growing up, was like, Greg, if you don't have time to do it right, when are you gonna have time to do it over?
Yeah.
And then the day I graduated college, he came out, and as soon as we got out the sanctuary at Newberry College, he pulled me to the side, and he's like, he said, I can hire you, but I'm not. And he said, but I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I want you to remember. He said, there's two things in life that's easy as heck to screw up and hard as heck to fix. He's like, that's your credit and your reputation. And that just, and that's it. And he's right. He's right. Because at some point in time, I've screwed both up, I'm sure. And he's right about it. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
How about you, Holly?
I would say for me, just to live life, to enjoy it. I think that's where I'm at in life right now. My biggest advice would be to slow down and just enjoy the little things in life.
Awesome.
Because it goes by fast.
It does.
And so that would be.
We don't get upset about the little things. I know we're coming to a close, but I had to
That's
tell
okay.
one quick
Keep
funny
going.
story. So we went to pick Logan up from Collision last night, and we pull up, and this car pulls up beside us, and they park. And I don't know that this happened, that they saw this, but I was telling a story, and in the story, the person was yelling, so I was yelling, telling the story.
Yeah.
So I looked like I was yelling at Holly, and that car pulled off and left, and I'm like, oh, man, I bet they think we were fighting.
So
Go check out the police.
Yeah.
So I played the whole role. I started going.
Oh, yeah, and then she started acting like she was crying. I was like, oh, man, you're wrong. You're wrong for that.
But yeah, just enjoy the little things. Laugh.
We don't get worked up about
We don't as much anymore. Because life's too short.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy every minute of it and slow down and let the small things go,
So what's a little thing that you enjoy? What's one of those little things?
Sometimes just our walks.
Friday night, sitting on the patio, looking
Friday nights.
on the little. We got these two little lifeguard-looking chairs with a table in between them.
We go back out after he gets off work on Friday, and we just sit and kind of
Sat
just
there for a little while and just.
That's your time.
especially if it's outside, like especially on a night like tonight where it's just
Your routine.
it's so nice outside.
Yes.
We really just sit and enjoy. We have a little view in the back and just talk. So it's
And what's the
nice.
little thing that you just don't pay attention to that? That's not worth worrying about.
when
That a
it
lot of
does-
people worry about.
Oh gosh, I don't know. It could be. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I mean, we of course we still argue.
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
it's,
And we, but it's just we.
if he does something wrong, like even I know this might sound petty, but like he does the laundry sometimes, but it's all wrong. Like,
I do that on purpose. You
yeah,
know that,
sure.
right?
Andrea, my wife, you're not alone. You have a little camp.
So, but I think the old me would have been like, oh my gosh, you know. But I'm like, I laugh about it,
Yeah.
you know. I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
Right.
and grateful, you know, like, and I'll just say, hey, honey, this is
Yeah.
Logan's T-shirt. This is, I don't know how I could fit in an extra small, but this, you know, but we kind of have learned just to laugh about it, you know.
Mhm.
He doesn't even get upset either, you know. We
No.
just learned to just laugh the little things off.
We got in a disagreement Saturday that years ago probably would have went for 2 or 3 days, but now it's you
We
know.
do.
Shake it off.
Shake it
Yeah,
off.
I mean Holly, and I don't mind saying it. Holly is the handyman of the relationship. She wants to jump in and rebuild the deck out back. And I want to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were.
I'll show you a picture when it's done.
Okay. All right.
We were arguing about that. We were arguing about that Saturday morning, and then decided to just go our separate ways because we weren't on the same page. Oh, God, this is another. You talking about another Logan?
Yeah.
And if I could show you the video, it was great because I put it on Facebook back at the time. We went to Lowe's after church one Sunday, and we got in an argument about something. And
Oh, yeah.
so when
Oh, yeah.
when Holly,
It's always over home improvements.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
and
all
when
right.
we and so
It's
when
a
we
thing.
do that,
It is a
when we
thing.
do that, a lot of times we'll go home and write notes to each other to, you know, when you've had a tough time to digest it. So Holly left a note in the kitchen that I saw when I walked in that said,
This is our laughing moment about it because
Yeah.
we're kind of both a little over it, but
she left a note in the kitchen that said that I will not yell at my wife at Lowe's. And so I left a second note back to her that said, I will listen to my husband's ideas. And then a little bit later we go in there and Logan leaves one that says, the people yelling at each other at Lowe's were not my parents, they were my aunt and uncle. So,
I love it.
yeah.
Well, it's obvious you guys have put a sense of humor in your marriage.
we
Yeah,
do. You
we
just
do.
got to laugh it off.
You
I
do.
mean, it's not worth holding grudges or carrying
It's,
it on.
we've the thing that we say in group all the time, and the thing that we live is your marriage changes when divorce is totally off the table. When that's not an option. I mean, unless there, you know, and I don't mean this in a light way, but but unless there's beating or cheating, then divorce is not even going to be. You know, that's just not something that we entertain, and it just changes your whole perspective.
What a great way to think about life. And
Yeah.
if you're not beating or cheating, you need to stick together.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe
like
that,
it.
yeah, that's
So
not,
he
you know,
stuck with me.
yeah. So,
Home improvements and all.
right. So,
Well, you guys, everybody that's watching out there can see that it's just a great joy to have you guys because you are joy and you enjoy life a lot. And we're just grateful for all that you've done. And
thank you. Grateful for you
Yeah.
and our church and Brett and everybody, Jonathan and the guy. We pray every night for the whole staff.
We
And that's
do.
quite a list now. Yeah.
well, may your tribe
It's a
increase.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
a family.
yep.
Well, thank you. So let me pray with you before we go.
Absolutely.
Lord, thank you so much for Greg and Holly and for Logan and their extended family. Thank you for this time we've had together. Bless those that are watching today. May the kind of joy that Holly and Greg have be something that is contagious and spreads to others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we'll see you next time for the 52nd edition of the Next Step podcast, but we're signing off.